It is a busy week in Wisconsin politics and across the nation. Here to unspin the latest headlines are Roger Putnam of Putnam Roby Williamson Communications and Brian Schimming of Midwest Strategy, also vice chair of the state Republican Party. Long titles. All right, we're going to get right to it. First, let's start with tonight's presidential debate. We heard earlier that some experts are saying it's the most important of the three. What's on the line for each candidate?
Well, I think, Obama has to not make any mistakes. He's not known for making mistakes speaking publicly. Your friend Romney seems to be pretty good at it. So I guess we'll see if Romney steps in it tonight and how badly. But I don't expect any major issues coming out of this.
Yeah, I think for Romney, it's interesting. We've been doing this campaign for a couple of years now, let's face it. And here in the last 34 days, for the first time, the two candidates will be facing each other. And speaking of stepping in it, our chief economic spokesman for the Romney campaign, a guy by the name of Vice President Joe Biden, who said that the middle class have been going through it in the last 4 years, it turns out he's right. And I think we're going to talk about that.
All right, so Obama, we know, is coming into town tomorrow. Roger, what do you expect in terms of his message and the reasoning behind the visit?
Well, I tell you that there's been some good reporting on this already, and one is getting out the vote. I mean, he's going to energize the student base that was the big factors in past elections, certainly in 08. So you're going to see that. Tammy Baldwin's going to get a big boost by sharing the stage with him, so she's going to benefit from him being up there and introducing the president. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping, the president, he loves to do these foreign apology tours. I'm hoping tomorrow in Madison there's going to be a domestic apology tour, and that he apologizes to all those students there for their debt being $25,000 by the time they get out of college, if they are able to, and tuition going up, and the fact that unemployment right now is over 8% for the 43rd month in a row. Not a good picture for college students, so I hope he reminds them of that.
Or maybe we'll talk about cuts to education and access to Pell Grants. I mean, it's anyone. It could be that, or
I'm game for that.
Okay, all right.
And as mentioned, I want to get to the new Marquette Law poll. This has Baldwin leading Thompson for U.S. Senate, but the margin has tightened to 4%. Your thoughts on what that means heading into November?
Good question. Apples to apples, I think he had picked up 5-6 points since their last debate. We see other polling, internal polling, but also other pollsters that show Tommy ahead a little bit. So I feel very, very good about where that race is going. And let's face it, Tammy Baldwin didn't have a primary. Tommy Thompson did. He had to spend money to get through that primary. Her outside groups are coming in trying to rescue her campaign right now. When the choice is clear, Tommy Thompson will win that race.
$3 million spent since the debate from out-of-state entities. Her numbers have only slipped a couple of points, and if you believe Republicans and how the validity of the last poll being 9 points ahead, we've settled into exactly the sweet spot. 5 points ahead. There have been 9 polls that show her tied or ahead in that race.
But going back to tonight, as we leave everyone, since this is what people will be focusing on, the debate, the most important thing to leave people with?
I think that, again, it's Romney's to mess up. I mean, Obama just needs to hold his own.
I think a picture of the future under a Romney-Ryan administration and a reminder of what we've been through in the last 4 years, which has not been good.
Ryan, Roger, we thank you both,
of course,
as always, and you'll have to tune in for that debate. We will be airing it live right here on NBC 15, and we'll see you for a final check.